We go. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the Jay Spit Down podcast. I am your host, Jaden. Of course, once again here with my good friend Miles, and we're going to be talking some NFL football as training camp is kicked off, man, and we're inching closer and closer to the start of the season. So football is back. I'm excited. I know you're excited. But today I just wanted to talk some ball, man, and just some things we're looking forward to seeing this year. But thanks for coming on, man.
Of course, as always.
Yeah. Like I said, man, we're in training camp now, so we're really close to start of the year. So what's something, some teams look a little bit different than they did last year. We had some movements over the off season and other things go on. So what's some things that you're looking forward to seeing, I guess, from, a couple different teams or just maybe overall in general this year, um, 2025?
Well, first, I got to start with my Packers. It's only right. Um, I think that I don't. I'm not the biggest fan of us letting go of Jair. I understand that he has a tendency to not stay healthy, but also when he's on the field, everybody knows how good of a corner he is. So he's going to be tough to replace his like production. Um, but overall, though, I really think it boils down to Jordan Love. I think that Josh Jacobs gives us a good running game. I've told you before we don't have a true wide receiver one, which hurts.
Yeah.
But I think if Love could take care of the ball, we have enough talent at the wide receiver position for people to make plays. But if I'm not mistaken, he turned the ball over 3 times against the Eagles. That's just not going to get it done. I remember when they played San Francisco in the divisional round the year before this, he threw that pick on what would have been the game-winning drive. So to me, it's like we compete with teams, but then he has turnovers that kind of give the game away. So I think if he can cut down those turnovers, like I genuinely think that we have opportunity to do something because when we take care of the ball, we're a hard team to beat. So I'm looking forward to that. But even with that being said, I don't think the Packers nor the Eagles will come out of the NFC this year.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Yeah, I definitely will say this about the Packers, dude. When they're on their game, they are a very hard team to beat, especially when their offense is rolling and that defense, man, they got a good defense. They turned it around last year and well, unfortunately losing
Yeah.
Jair Alexander, that's gonna hurt, of course, but everybody, like you said, yeah, he couldn't stay on the field. Yeah, yeah, he couldn't. But I mean, I would say since he got drafted in 17, when he's on the field, one of the better corners in the league. So it's unfortunate. Um, but now, he's gonna have guys step up. I saw they switched Bo Melton over to cornerback from wide receiver. Um,
I saw that, fortunately.
yeah, so
Unfortunately.
that depth is concerning. Um,
Yes.
but we'll see what they do. Um, but yeah, man. And as far as the Eagles and are concerned, yeah, man. A lot of people, aren't really picking him to go back this year. It is hard to repeat in the Super Bowl and to go back to back, right? That's hard to do. Of course, the Chiefs have done it, but it is normally hard to the Patriots in their prime, but it's hard to do. But tell me why you don't believe that Eagles will make it back to the Super Bowl next year.
So I was a little bit ahead of the curve last year. As you know, I had the Eagles last year when most people didn't.
Hmm.
And same vibes that I got from them last year is kind of what I'm getting from the Lions this year. I just
Okay.
think that the way that my thing for Philly last year was okay, we have a team that made the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Last year had a little bit of a letdown. And then we bring in Saquon Barkley. And he's what takes us over the top. And for me, I'm looking at the Lions. I'm like, okay, they were up on San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. It was low key their game to lose, and they lost it. Then last year, we have a disappointing showing against the Commanders, but we don't have a fully 100% David Montgomery. We don't have an Aiden Hutchinson. And I just think, similarly to the Eagles, it's a team that has lots of regular season success and has had, moments in the playoffs, but hasn't quite gotten to the top. And I just think And now that you're adding in Aiden Hutchinson and everybody on paper is supposed to be healthy, I think that's my thing. I always, I try and look at teams saying if they're healthy. And I think with the Lions' past couple of seasons being as close as they have been, 2 years ago makes it to the NFC Chip, last year being the 1 seed. So I think this year, if they're healthy, I think now is their turn. The only thing that gives me concern for them is you've brought this up and we've talked is them losing their coordinators.
Yeah.
But I I just think they have so much talent that to me it doesn't really matter because of the fact that this is their third year making that push, and I just think now is probably the right time.
Hmm. Okay. Well, and like I told you, when we were talking previously the other day, yeah, man, I mean, we will see. But normally, if your track record's pretty good, so I mean, hey, you might end up being right. Um, I will say this: they definitely will need Jared Goff to not perform how he did against Washington in the playoffs. He cannot do that. He's going to need to be better for sure. Um, but I mean, like I said, other than that, I mean, um, yeah, I could definitely see the Lions making a push to Super Bowl. That's definitely possible. Um,
That's the one thing that gives me pause is Jared Goff. As I'm sure you know from talking to me, I'm not like the biggest Jared Goff fan, but I just think their roster is so deep that it's one of those things. I look at it like this: with the Celtics, right? Jason Tatum, and then they won a championship last year. I don't particularly think Jason Tatum's like a great number one option, and he didn't even necessarily have to win Finals MVP for them to win because of how good their roster was, top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I same type of thing with Jared Goff. Like he doesn't have to be Super Bowl MVP or the X factor, but as long as he goes out there and doesn't lose them the game, I think they'll be all right.
yeah, I agree. I think yeah, he just goes out there and does what he has to do. Don't turn the football over, because turnovers in the playoffs, bro, they can like, yeah,
They're,
it's in the regular
they're worth
season they
double.
can swing a game, but dude, they swing the game.
I I hear Shannon Sharp say all the time, turnovers in the playoffs are worth double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because especially if you're on the road,
Mhm.
but yeah, you can't just momentum and stuff like that. You know how that is, but so yeah, they can't do that. I mean, we'll see. Um. Yeah, it's kind of like how the Vikings played last year against the Rams, like how Sam Darnold was.
Yeah. That's
So
another team for to me is the Rams. I like the Rams.
yeah, yeah, and I was telling you, man, like I think the Rams could make a push this year as well. They did last year, obviously we know that. Stafford still doing his thing at what 37. So their defense is young, fast, physical. Um,
I
you
think
know,
it's crazy that Aaron Donald retired and then you bring in Jared Verse. That's
yeah. Yeah.
obviously he's not Aaron, you know.
Hey man, they always find those studs on defense. So, um,
Yeah.
y-
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all shapes out, man. Of course, I assume, yeah, your AFC side isn't changing, the Chiefs.
I think it has potential
Yeah,
to, just for the same reason as far as like why I picked the Eagles last year because I saw them lose 2 years ago, and then you bring in Saquon and why I'm picking the Lions this year, just the teams that have kind of been there. And I think the Bills and the Ravens are like the epitome of that. The teams that are there year after year. So I mean, I wouldn't be like surprised if the Chiefs or I mean the Bills or the Ravens come out on top. But if you're asking me, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
of course. Yeah, I think probably any sane football fan would. Just because again,
Yeah.
like what we keep saying, like until we're shown otherwise, that's just what we have to go with. So unless
Right.
when these teams can go out and actually beat them, um, not close, not almost, but beat them, then got to stick with the Chiefs. And hey, they might have a little hunger to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was about to say, I think that's my biggest thing as to why I'm even more confident this year is because for them to go out and get slapped in the mouth the way they did in the Super Bowl, if I'm the Chiefs, I would look at that and say, all right, guys, like, look, we know how good we can be. We just won the last two Super Bowls. We went out there in the Super Bowl, we got embarrassed. Let's go out and show the world who we are. Like I feel like people forgot. So I think this is an opportunity for them to, I think they're a little bit complacent. And I think that's like a wake up call.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you watch the Chiefs over the last what, 5 or so years, and like we know how they play when they're like, on it, man, and I could definitely say watching the Super Bowl, that was not a team that was locked in at all. Like, I've been there where it's been like I'm sure you have too. It's like sometimes you just when you're not there. They weren't there. I could tell that they weren't there, you know.
Yeah.
The energy wasn't right. Looking on the sidelines just was like that team, they weren't prepared that week. Um, so yeah, man. I don't know. I definitely think I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
So I would ask you, so if we're taking the Chiefs out of it, right?
Hmm.
Out of the Bills, Ravens, and Bengals, who would you say is next?
So you say take the Chiefs out of it, but it's like, oh, that's so hard to do because it's like, okay, but let me let me do
Okay,
it.
let me word let me word it like this then. At some point, I find it very hard to believe that every year for his career, Patrick Mahomes is going to make the Super Bowl, even though it looks like he's going to at some point. Out of those three teams, who's going to be the one to do it first? Out of the Bills, Ravens, and Bengals.
Well, on the track record that the Bengals are going on right now, definitely not them, because they haven't fixed their issues. I would definitely say it have to
Yeah,
be,
they just pay. No, I was gonna say they just made their strength stronger. That's all they did. Paying Jamar Pantey, paying Joe Burrow, but they still don't have a defense. So
yeah. I would definitely have to say the Bills, because their roster, I feel like while they haven't made a Super Bowl in the Josh Allen run there or whatever, they still have gotten themselves close to that position. Heck, they took the Ravens out last year. Um, you know, uh, Baltimore just hasn't. I would say the Bills probably the team for me, just all across the board. The Ravens could, but they just they I don't know, man. It's like you get to the playoffs and you have a big freak back there in the backfield, then you're not running him. Why? You know? So
yeah, I I hear your logic, and I think based off of what we have seen the last 5 or so years, if I'm ranking them based off of the performance of the last 5 years, I'll put at number two behind Kansas City. But for the future, I think the team that has the best chance is the Ravens.
mhm.
Because to me, that Lamar Jackson, since he's been a starter, he's like he's otherworldly during the regular season. Genuinely, the things that he does. This is his third time being first team All Pro in his first 7 years, two MVPs, everything. But when he gets to the playoffs, he turns into a different person. He shrinks a little, if you will. But I think it's mental because I think that he goes into playoff games thinking I have to prove to the world I can be a passer. Versus when he's at his best being the MVP, Lamar Jackson, that's because he's rushing for 75 yards and passing for 180. But he's trying to go out there and pass for 250 in the playoffs. But I'm like, that's not who you are, you know? And I think that once he figures out I just need to be me, I think they'll be the team to beat. I think it's just mental for Lamar. Like Josh Allen and the Bills, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what to tell them. Like, they just, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like every year they get right there, and then the Chiefs just get them. But with the Ravens, I can tangibly say, like, Lamar, just be yourself. And I think if he's himself, like you said, they don't get away from the running game. He's looking to run just as much as he does in the regular season. I think they'll be hard to beat because every time, whether it's the Bills, the Chiefs, even when you go back to the first year, he was really a starter when they played the Titans. He starts forcing passes and he turns the ball over more than he would. I think if he can just stay calm, I think it's theirs to lose, in my opinion. If he can stay calm.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely hear that, bro, for real. And it's interesting you said that's it's mental because you know, Lamar Jackson is like out, he's just a freak of nature. And God knows, man, I'm glad I didn't have to I'm glad that I never played defense and I never played against a quarterback like that, boy, because that's something else,
Yeah,
man. But he, like you said, I
and
think
that's what I'm.
oh go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's what I'm saying. Like the way you have that thought, like, who I'm glad I don't have to play him. He doesn't play like that in the playoffs. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he needs to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, like dude, you're freaking like you're I don't even know the word, bro. Like you're a Madden X Factor. You know what I'm saying? So you play like that, man. Like he needs to let loose, bro, and just play his game, like you said. But I mean, I think also coaching might have something to do with it too. And that's where he might need to step up as a quarterback and be like, hey, I feel like you need to give me the keys a little bit more. Like I think that's where he needs to come in as well. Like, hey, like in certain situations, because I feel like sometimes the coaching in the past couple of Ravens playoff games like has kind of been questionable. And now they got Henry, dude, in the backfield, still at his age, still running the way he is. You got Lamar. Like, there's no reason like they should, yeah. So they should go 15-2 every year. Like, really, or whatever. Like, there's no
No
reason.
reason.
Like,
Yeah, it's no reason not to.
like, and an amazing defense, like, which is not the problem. So, you know,
Right.
yeah.
And
Um,
that's why I'm saying I do agree that like based off what we have seen, it has been Josh Allen and the Bills that are giving the Chiefs the most trouble. But I think if the Ravens can figure out that situation, because I think anybody that watches football from an objective lens can say the Ravens a little bit of a different team postseason than a regular season. If they can figure out what that is, they'll be hard to stop.
yeah, yeah. I definitely think if they figure it out, yeah, dude, there's no reason they should be beaten. Um, because I'm watching their game against the Bills last year. I'm like, it's just, now of course a lot of people want to blame Mark Andrews for the drop and stuff. I'm like, okay, but that game was over
It's
from
just
before that.
like yes, the ball, and that gives you new life. We forced overtime. 100% he did sell, but it shouldn't have had to get to that point.
Yeah, it's avoidable. So yeah,
Yeah.
man. Um, but like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I will say that I am looking forward to um and I told you this the other day, but hey man. I think my Falcons can get in the playoffs too. I think we can get in there at 10-7. I think that's realistic for us. I think offensively, we got a good little trio with Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. Just man, ooh, if we could just get in the top 15 or 20 in the league in sacks, I think the Falcons would be fine. It's the pass rush that has always been their Achilles heel. They drafted two pass rushers in the first round, so. Um, I don't know, man. What do you think? Like, is that solid? Does that sound
No,
logical?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think 10-7 is like wishful thinking. I think that's realistic. I just think for me, and you know this about me, I'm a moments guy. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do in the biggest moment? Which again, with Mark Jackson kind of crumbles. My thing with y'all is Tampa Bay has shown me really since Tom Brady got there, like this is us. And even the first year when they won the Super Bowl, New Orleans beat them twice in the regular season. Come playoff time, they send them home and they go win the Super Bowl. Like I just don't know that down the stretch. I'm pretty sure y'all in Tampa will be both, 9-8, 10-7, 11. It's like in that same range. I
Yeah.
just don't know that down the stretch when the season on the line, the division title is on the line. No hate, but I
No,
don't trust Michael Penix more than I trust Baker.
no, yeah.
So that's my that's my only thing. Like as far as y'all making the playoffs, if the NFC doesn't have a wild card spot open, I don't know that I trust y'all to beat Tampa. Like when it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's solid. I agree. Baker Mayfield is a beast, man. Since he got to I really, man, like when he went to the Rams, they picked him up in like the what day or so before,
Yeah,
and
that Thursday.
he like just
Yeah, Thursday.
you know since then, bro, he has been some kind of. I mean, he wasn't even bad before then, but he kind of had made a few stops in Carolina and um uh crap, he was somewhere else.
Cleveland.
But anyway, he since he got to Tampa, man, he's been
Cleveland.
yeah, and he's been like one of the better quarterbacks it's statistically in the NFL. So he's when he's on his game, like Tampa's really good. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, like we know when those two are both out there, like it's hard to stop them.
And that's the thing too. For you got Bucky Irving. You got they just added the receiver from Ohio State.
Yeah.
His name's blanking my mind right. Cade Otton.
Amika,
Yeah.
Amika,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's good. Yeah, yeah. So
So that's what I'm saying. I just down the stretch as we have Baker. And, they're not new to this. You know what I'm saying? Like they do it every year pretty much, and they go and compete in the playoffs. So, like I said, just if let's say I don't know what the schedule looks like, but let's say it's week 15, week 16, Atlanta's 8-7, Tampa's 8-7. Y'all got to play each other. That's a tough ask for y'all to go and win the division.
yeah, I mean they had I look kind of like when they went to Washington, last game of the year.
Right.
Like
Right.
that was that game. Like, and I mean, and Michael didn't play bad because all things considered. He just they just the moments. There was those moments. Like you got to get the stops and things like that. That's what kind of played them. But again, um, so I don't know, man. We'll see. But I'm excited, to see how he does in his first full like year starting. Um, you know, he's I was high on him, man, when he got drafted last year. Saw what he did at Washington. I'm like, man, this kid is he's got an arm and he's good and he's very calm, bro. He's always just like, dude, he's just got that, he just stands in there and just like, he's
Yeah.
very poised. So we'll see what happens,
So
man.
speaking of Washington with
Mhm.
Jaden Daniels, so what do you think the feeling is for year two with him being under quarterback? Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I think the Commanders, I don't think they get as far as they did last year. I don't think so.
Okay.
And part of that, and it's just because for one, their defense got regressed a little bit. And then um, yeah, man, I don't know. The Commanders, I just don't think they will be. I don't think they're going to be back as far because they went to they were in a title game last year.
NFC.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Crazy like the Washington like I was but anyway, they were in in the title game, but I don't think they're gonna get that far, man. I just don't see it. I don't think it'll be necessarily with Jane Daniels or anything to do with him, but just overall the team is defensively just a little bit older. Um, I think they don't really have they need to get another weapon or two. Zach Ertz is getting up there in age. You know, even though he's always been a solid tight end, but he's getting up there. And
Still haven't paid Warren, right?
you said what? What'd you
They
say?
still haven't paid Terry McLaurin,
Oh yeah,
right?
no. And I was gonna get to that next. Like, no,
They still. Yeah.
he has not been paid. So crazy. But
Okay.
yeah. So, but that's my thoughts, man. I don't think they're gonna make it any further than maybe a wild card if that. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so you don't even know if they make it back to the playoffs?
probably not. I don't know. I mean, they're talented enough to squeak
Okay.
in.
What about what?
Yeah.
Okay, what about Dallas?
Um, no, sir. No, sir. No, but yeah, no, no, definitely not. We don't talk about the Cowboys on here, man. That's I don't even want to go there. No, the Cowboys definitely won't make the playoffs
I
this year.
just
Um,
asking, you still got Micah Parsons. CD got his shoulder right. You add in George
I
Pickens.
I
That's going
know
to be healthy. I'm not saying they're going to, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know, maybe a wild card spot.
maybe, maybe. I don't know, man. Hey, you got Jerry Jones going on TV saying what he did. Like that whole organization is
Yeah.
just a mess. I feel like the Cowboys and the Bengals have
Yeah.
the worst organizations in the entire NFL. They're just ran like just it doesn't But that's a different conversation. So but other than that, man, kind of wrapping up the show here. Like I said, I'm interested to see what happens in the next year, and it's going to be very fun to watch. So I'll be looking forward to it.
I
Um, what's up?
have one more thing before you wrap it up.
All right, cool.
I got to speak on my guy. So, A Rod on the Steelers. How are we? No? No?
No, no, man. Nah, dude, that's. I mean, the Steelers are gonna be what they are, man. And
Hey, we gave him DK Metcalf. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers, but DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
I
it
don't
could be
know.
nice. Like, I definitely think their offense will be maybe a tad better, but at the end of the day, like, they're just still, you know, they're always gonna be like just above water, you know. So, until they just, I don't know, man, but.
Hey, all I'm saying is the Super Bowl I think is gonna happen is Chiefs and Lions. The Super Bowl I want to happen is the Aaron Rodgers Bowl, the Packers and the Steelers.
That would be interesting. Oh yeah, because they played in the Super Bowl years ago.
Yeah, when
That's
Aaron
the
Rodgers
one Aaron
played, it was the
won.
Packers and Steelers. Yep.
Yeah, that would
Uh-huh.
be interesting.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, uh, you know, but hey, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, man, Miles, thank you for coming on the show, man. Appreciate your time, and definitely gonna have you back on. And yeah, man, NFL is back. So, but
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
yeah. But that'll wrap us up, man. We'll see you guys next time on the show. And yeah, all right, man. Thank you for your time.